I'm off to go get my lips done today, and I'm very, very excited. I'm going to see my lovely friend Maisie, who is just absolutely incredible. So I thought, what better way to explain to you how your lips are after filler, how you're going to feel, how they're going to feel, than talk you through it myself as I go through it. So I had my lips dissolved just over a month ago, just because I'd had them filled quite a lot before, and I love the way Maisie does them. So I was like, fuck it, we're going to get them dissolved and we're going to start fresh with some nice 3D Russian lips. Very excited. So I'm going to take you with me, show you how they are straight after, a couple of hours after, what's normal to feel, what might not be normal to feel, and basically just go through it all with you. So at least you can get an honest account of it. So let's go. Okay, so this is straight after. Maisie has done a chef's kiss job as per. But they're starting to swell, which is normal. They might bruise a little bit and they might swell quite a lot. And that is completely normal because I have just been jabbed with a needle. Some people do sometimes forget that and they panic when they swell or they panic when they bruise, and it's completely normal. You've been jabbed quite a few times with a needle, you're going to swell, you're going to bruise. And later on, they're probably going to be double the size. They're starting to feel a bit tight, starting to hurt a little bit. But again, that's perfectly normal. So don't stress if that does happen. I'm going to carry on taking my arnica tablets. I'm going to have some pineapple, take some antihistamines, and ice them for a bit, but I've actually got work tonight, so I need to get on with it, and I will check in with you lot probably this evening. See you then. Okay, so we're now at 6 hours post-treatment, and boy, am I swollen. Am I swollen? They are starting to really hurt now, but again, totally normal. Where I've iced them, they have started to bleed a little bit, but that can happen. Cap refills are fine, the shape is looking divine, but yeah, they feel really, really tight, really, really swollen, and they do hurt. Got my ice pack here, taken some antihistamines, and I'm good to go. By the time the morning comes, they should be a little bit better, kind of pain-wise. The first night is always the worst. It is the rough one, especially if you have especially if you have Russians, they kind of hurt a lot more than usual, but she's obsessed. Next morning after filler, so they are still really, really swollen. Had my antihistamines last night, been icing all night, and obviously it's the day after, they're going to be swollen. Still feeling quite tight, and sometimes you do get a bit of toothache with it, so I did have a bit of toothache last night. But do you know what? I'm really fortunate I'm not a bruiser. Some people are like mega bruisers, and that is totally normal. Obviously, if you've got a needle going in and out of your lip tissue, you're going to bruise. But this is 1 day post, and I'll update you in a couple of days. We'll do it in a couple of days, and then we'll do it in like maybe a week or so, and then 2 weeks, and just show you the whole process. Today is a week post lip filler, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. They're exactly how I wanted them, exactly how I imagined them. They look amazing. So it's important to note, a week post filler, they're still going to feel hard. They are still going to feel hard, even a couple of weeks after filler. So especially around that vermilion border, it's still going to be quite sharp, which I love, and it's still going to feel quite hard. Mine still feel like a little bit lumpy bumpy a couple of weeks after filler, and then they settle really nicely. That is me. That's how I've always been with filler. But they've lifted nicely. They're exactly how I wanted them. Most of your swelling will start to kind of go down by now. Bruising, the exact same. Now, it's important to know that when you get your filler done, your final result is 2 weeks. 2 weeks post-filler. So this isn't my final result. My final result is in a week. But I might just post this now, because I feel like this is just such a good bit of information, because I feel like when you get fillers, a lot of people get really scared because they see stuff on like TikTok and stuff like that basically scaremongers. Let's be honest, it's scaremongers. You see people that have had such bad bruising or such bad swelling, and they've had this, they've had that, and then they've spread false information, and then they scaremonger. The amount of clients that I get, and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to get this done because I've seen this on TikTok, or I don't want to get a lip flip done because I've seen that you can't talk, like you lose all function of your mouth, which is obviously completely false. But I feel like this is it. This is what it's like getting filler. Some people do swell worse. Some people do really bruise, and that is totally normal. And you can kind of cut down things to kind of help with that. So before you get your filler done, avoid caffeine for ideally a few days. But if you want to go up to 2 weeks beforehand, no alcohol. Make sure you sleep sitting up. Make sure you drink loads of water. If you have low platelets, if you have low B12, low iron, anything like that, that can make you bruise and swell more. If you're on certain medications, that can make you bruise and swell more. Things like that. Sometimes if you're on your period or you're ovulating, that can cause you to swell and bruise a bit more. There are so many factors involved. So don't stress if you are a sweller, if you are a bruiser. You're totally fine. If you are concerned about anything, obviously just ask a practitioner. Don't ever be afraid to ask a practitioner, because I always tell my girls and guys when they leave, like, I don't care if you ask 1,000,001 questions. I'd rather you ask and you feel a bit more put at ease, and that no question is ever a stupid question. I don't get me wrong, sometimes I look at some of the questions I get and I go, oh, fucking hell. But you always get them answered. No question in my eyes ever really is a stupid question, because it's always coming from a place of kind of good thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you get what I mean. But yeah, this is my week update on getting my lips done.